the whole orphan scene in the beginning because I was like, yo, these orphans are so annoying. Mad, but then I was like, nah, that's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look.
Burry.
I just think the sad orphan is played out in 2020.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Boom! Shakalaka turret! You're out on the floor! Ejectocito, cuz! It worked! I love this button! Please! Come on!
Goodbye, Benny.
Welcome to the Millennial Classics, you guys. It's me, Swadik Mayanja Mambari. On this podcast, we talk about the best and most memorable movies, music, and culture-changing events from our generation. Mambari, welcome back.
What's good?
Another day, another dollar. Mambari, tell the folks at home, what are we talking about today?
All right, so this is the definition of millennial classic. This is a movie where if you're like a certain age, you watched this movie when you were a kid. It was like, sports movies for kids, not that big of a genre, but This is up there in the pantheon. A little movie called Like Mike. Okay.
Yes.
Starring Bow Wow, a Bow Wow vehicle. It's a really good movie, and the reason it's a millennial classic. Right now, we just finished watching The Last Dance. Mm-hmm. And I would say this is The Last Dance for kids. And this movie is, if you want to tell a kid why LeBron isn't as good as Michael Jordan, you show him this movie and you tell him if LeBron gave him shoes, he wouldn't have made the playoffs. That's it. That's all you got to know.
Look, listen, stop it. First and foremost, look. The big thing about kids' sports movies, this is a pantheon, and I think it doesn't get enough credit, right? I definitely think it doesn't get enough credit, because when you say kids' sports movies, my mind are like the first movie I think of is The Sandlots, with the kids and the baseball with the big dog next door. Sandlots, that's my go-to. But yeah, at least for our generation, and that's why it's a millennial classic, because it's our generation's Sandlot.
Exactly.
This is our best kids sports movie. I think some of those older ones are better, but it's not for our generation. I agree with you there. But please, okay? Maybe you're just on your little high from watching all of The Last Dance. But don't compare this to Last Dance.
If you watch Last Dance and you watch this, there's a lot of interweaving. I honestly think you do a little double feature, Last Dance and Like Mike. I think you'll get a good picture of, because Last Dance, Michael Jordan's a psychopath. Obviously, kids don't want to watch a psychopath. So this kind of helps, and we'll talk about it later, but they talk about the triangle offense, and they explain it better than Phil Jackson.
Wait. Before we move on for this thing, because I need you to explain just a little bit more. This movie, outside of them just saying, these are Michael Jordan shoes, yes, that's great.
Well, they don't actually say it. They just say MJ.
Oh yeah, and they do just say MJ. I tried to Google some basketball players at the time with the letters MJ, and I tried some bum ass scrubs. But outside of and I guess that's the whole point. But I thought we were going to get a cameo or something. Nothing.
He was playing for the Wizards. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to be on camera.
I bet he didn't. All right, remember, give me the soft and easy plot of Like Mike.
All right, so an orphan. Yo, this is a big movie for orphans, by the way. An orphan called Calvin Cambridge, who's played by Bow Wow, finds some shoes, gets some shoes that have MJ on them, and they give him the power to play like MJ, and he gets on the local team, the LA Knights, and he wills them all the way to the playoffs. Meets the little guy, Morris Chestnut's the other star, and it's like a bromance too. That's pretty much the movie.
It really is.
And he's trying to get adopted.
He is trying to get adopted, and that's sweet, heartsy, cutesy stuff side of the movie. But Barry, do you know how tall Bow Wow was in this movie?
Yeah. So I wrote this down. One of the reasons movie. But I think he's 4. Is he 4'9"?
Yeah, something in the insane range, right? Something
he's short for a kid,
right? Exactly, bro. So, you guys, when you go back and watch this, because listen, for those of you out there, Mumburi and I are doing you a public goddamn service announcement, especially during this lockdown. These are the movies you need to go back and appreciate. This is a public service. Our entire podcast is a public service. But just before I get into our time machine and take us back to 2002, I wanted to let you know, there's no fucking way. This plot is some kind of fantasy. This is not...
I mean, but it was every kid's fantasy. It literally was like, how many commercials was it? Like, be like Mike. And it was like every kid's fantasy. You find a pair of shoes and you're on an NBA team, balling. Like the next day, but we'll get to the plot holes in this movie in a hot second. All right, jump in my time machine. All of you millennials, let's talk about what was happening in July of 2002 when Like Mike dropped. Serena Williams beats her sister for the first, so she could win her first Wimbledon. This is when the Venus sisters are starting to on their climb. Big things for the Venus sisters. All right. I had to put this in there. I know, shitty situation, George Floyd, all this craziness happening. They were the two snipers in Washington, D.C. that killed 10 people and injured, killed 10 people and injured 3 more. Kelly Clarkson won the very first American Idol. Can you imagine? American Idol still ain't no Ruben Studdard, though.
She ain't no Ruben Studdard. Yeah. What happened to that motherfucker, bro?
I hope he's alive.
The Ruben Studdard years of American Idol season was the most... I watched the most of that.
Honestly, that's a millennial classic.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. I love that. So the biggest movies that year: The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Spider-Man were the biggest movies of the year. The Eminem Show was the biggest selling album of the year. And then Apple released the second generation iPod. And I wanted to put this in there just so you guys understand how great technology is in 2020 versus 2002. It was a big deal. It was a whopping 20 gigabytes of storage.
People don't know the first iPod was ass. Like, it didn't even, it had like the buttons. It was so bad.
It was horrible. But that's hindsight. Mumburi, tell me at the time you didn't think it was the greatest thing. Because before the first iPod, it was CD players.
Yeah.
Right? So that was what's happening in 2002. Get your mindset in that situation when you are rewatching this. Because the clothing, the fashion, the music, everything in this movie, you need to put yourself in that mindset before you get excited. Mumburi, the movie's been made. How was it made? And what's going on there?
All right, but so we're going to talk about that. But I just want to mention that one of the reasons this movie stays relevant up to now, the cast is insane. The amount of people in this cast that you recognize from the 90s, from 2000s, from 2010. Some of these people are like hot right now.
And
it's wild. Like the kid casting, whoever casted the kids, insane job.
Okay, we'll talk about the casting because I have
the director was John Schultz, and I looked him up. So this is peak John Schultz. All right,
whatever that means.
Yeah. This is like the peak of John Schultz, in my opinion. All right, so it grossed 62 million worldwide, about 50 million domestic, which isn't that much, but the budget was 30. So I mean, good enough.
Yes.
Rotten Tomatoes is 57%.
Ooh, okay. Okay. I'm surprised by that number.
Yeah. But the cinema score, which is like the rating of people at the movie theater when they leave, got an A out of A plus to F. So the people who went to go see it in the movie theater really enjoyed it.
Yep.
The only thing I got out of rumors was Cedric the Entertainer was supposed to be in the movie. But he turned it down.
What do you think he would have been?
He turned it down for
the coach? Oh, yeah, that's wait. Before we could, is that a good decision? Cedric the Entertainer in the barbershop versus Like Mike. Yeah, right?
He should have been in the barbershop.
Yeah, no. Cedric the Entertainer, yes, that was a great move. He was in all 3 or both?
What?
Barbershops, yeah. He was in all of them.
The fact that there are 3 of those movies.
I think the third one's like beauty shop for the ladies. No, Burry, before we move on, we got to talk about what happened before you rewatched the movie, Burry. What did you remember? What were your favorite? What were you excited to see again? And if you remember, where were you when you were watching it for the first time?
I definitely didn't see this movie in theaters. This is a DVD movie. And what I remember before I started watching it again was almost everything. The only thing I remembered was the joy I had of watching the movie. And I remember that I enjoyed it a lot. Right. So as far as plot details, I mean, I damn near forgot he was an orphan.
Right.
Forgot about the whole mob plot.
That was insane.
Which is the worst part of the movie.
The worst fucking part. So for me, literally, when you mentioned Like Mike, when you mentioned the title Like Mike, my head went instantly to playing basket. That's fantastic, right? Fantastic. Yeah. And yes, I really do think the singing in the middle of movies is the corniest thing you can fucking do. But it's a basketball sports movie. Of course, if you're not going to have the training montage, you can have some singing and dancing and highlight montage.
I will say this. I'll say this because you mentioned it. That whole basketball. I mean, we're going to go over the scenes. We'll talk about it. Mm-hmm. But as far as actors who will rap and sing a theme song to the movie where they're the star of, it's literally Bow Wow and Will Smith. Like, that's the list. That is the entire list. Will Smith did it in Men in Black and Wild Wild West. Bow Wow did it in Like Mike.
Yes. And listen, I don't understand why people don't do it more often, because those are three.
It comes off as mad corny. That's it.
Yes, when you hear
how many movies have theme songs?
It doesn't matter how many movies have theme songs. Tell me Men in Black wasn't the greatest soundtrack ever. Bro, that was a fantastic. And I'm praising the soundtrack of this movie.
Men in Black was good.
Yes. A couple of the raps, like a couple of times when like you would hear Bow Wow rapping and be like, okay, relax. We know this is your movie.
He was okay.
He was decent. And there was a couple, but we're playing basketball was the very first thing I thought of when we were rewatching it. Do you want to talk about scenes? But you seemed eager to talk about this cast. Do you want to talk about your favorite scenes, worst scenes, or do you want to jump to the cast?
All right, so we'll do best scenes and worst scenes.
Perfect.
So I'll list them.
Please do. Give me the options. Give us options.
So this is for best scenes. Yeah, when he gets checked into the first game and wins the game.
Those are two different scenes, right?
Two different scenes.
Okay, one-on-one.
The first one is one, yeah.
Yep, okay.
The next third scene, meets Iverson. Then they play basketball montage. Then it ends with the slam dunk contest, right? That whole montage. Then the next scene is a DMX car ride where they sing in DMX together. And then next scene is the adoption scene. Just because the military family that's screaming and yelling in his face. I thought that was the funniest part of the whole movie. And the fact that the dude is literally just like, he's trying to entice the kid, but he just can't help himself. He's just screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yes.
And Fred Armisen makes an appearance there. As one of the Fred Armisen from SNL.
I don't know who that is.
And then
wait, but who is he and where was he in the movie?
He's one of the parents in the adoption scene.
During the adoption scene. Okay.
Yeah. Calvin goes under the legs to make the playoffs. And then the last one's the outtakes, because the outtakes were mad enjoyable. I miss movies with outtakes.
We think alike, guy. I swear to God, I was like, why don't more movies have outtakes anymore? Like, all the Jackie Chan movies.
Rush Hour is the best outtakes of all time.
Of all time.
More movies should have. I mean, if you're not taking, obviously, like Schindler's List shouldn't have outtakes. But if you're doing like 12 Years a Slave, shouldn't have outtakes of like the slave owner is fucking doing the worm and shit. Nah, you shouldn't do outtakes for that. But I mean, if you're watching a movie like Game Night, there's no reason why you can't have outtakes and like.
That's so funny. Schindler's List shouldn't have outtakes. Please and thank you, Babari. Thank you for letting me know that Schindler's List, a movie about Jews getting killed, get it outtakes, okay? Please and thank you. So I'm going to go first. My favorite scene, the first game versus Spurs. I thought that it was so exciting. Look, in the beginning, when you see him put the shoes on, and when he comes down.
That was his first game, right?
That very first game.
And they show the Admiral?
Exactly.
Because Tim Duncan was like, there's no fucking way I'm
Yes, of course. I love that scene because like that's when I'm most hyped during the movie, right? In the beginning, you see him do these tricks and all of these things and you say, this is obviously fucking bullshit. I don't know. The reason I asked you right from the get how tall he was, because I don't know who did the editing, but it made it look so believable. But I'm like, that's actually the Admiral, and he's actually standing there, but they look like they're close, not close in height.
No, they're edited.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, because in real life,
we're going to talk about the actual basketball in this movie after we do the scenes. But yeah,
but that was easily my favorite scene. I loved it from the get. I loved it from the get.
All right, so you have when he gets checked into the game, he wins the game.
Exactly. Yes.
And he draws up the play.
And he has to run before, because in the beginning, like there's tension, and then he's great at the end because in the beginning of that scene, he doesn't have his shoes on because they told him he has to
I was waiting for the shot clock violation when they
right?
But
he comes out high-fiving. Fantastic scene.
Yeah. My favorite is the montage. Iverson, then we're playing basketball, and then you realize it's a remix with him rapping over it. Great. Worst scene would be the whole mob scooter chase scene. Was just terrible. I mean, I know they're kids, so you can't have them like whipping, but like the mob chasing them in cars and not just splatting the kids all over the place.
All over the place. It's insane. I mean, they make it seem like the scooter is driving fast enough where it could get away from cars, right?
I mean, and it's mad weird. A kids movie has the mob play like a prominent part in the movie.
Yeah.
And they're just so chill. They're so chill when the dude gets whacked by the mob at the end of the movie. They're just like, yeah, I guess he owed a lot of money to the mob. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I'm telling you, I know you just glossed over the fact that you picked the worst scene for both of us, but it's so bad. It's just, it's an objective truth that that's the worst scene in the movie.
I was like, there's no.
It was such a late added like plot problem to the movie. It was like, oh my goodness, I need to figure out a way to get him to stop with his shoes. So let me go to the mob, please, because he bet the 100,000. Listen, worst scene in the movie, guaranteed. Just fast forward.
I was gonna do the whole orphan scene in the beginning because I was like, yo, these orphans are so annoying. Mad, then I was like, nah, that's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look.
But
I mean, I just think the sad orphan is played out in 2020. Nah, I'm playing. But it is a slow start to the movie.
How can I tell you something?
Slow start to the movie, bro.
The urge you have to fast forward to the season, you're like, okay, maybe let me be an asshole.
I mean, you're literally just like watching the first 20 minutes and you're just like, dude, am I watching an orphan movie or where's the basketball?
Exactly. Right?
So
Bow Wow's like, before we continue, Bow Wow's like P. Diddy. He's had like 4 names, right? It's been...
But Diddy's like a revolver. I mean, the names just come around and around.
Yes, they do.
Bow Wow like went from Lil Bow Wow to Bow Wow to Shad Moss.
Now he's officially Shad Moss.
But this is his acting debut.
Mm-hmm.
I think this isn't his like best or peak.
Oh,
right?
No.
Because I'd say that would be either Tokyo Drift, or for the people that saw this movie, Lottery Ticket.
Wait, what? How is that?
You didn't see Lottery Ticket?
Lottery Ticket. That's with Cedric the Entertainer, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
And then,
I did see
or
that
106 in Park, one of those.
106 in Park is what I have as his peak.
So
That's when I've seen that's when I saw him the most, and when he was most relevant. I know he was just telling relevant like news, hip hop news, or entertainment news, but I think that's
it was a big show.
Yeah, it was a huge show. It's a huge show. But I think that's when he was his peak. I don't think like Mike is his peak. I think this is his jumping point. This is his jumping point.
Yeah. Morris Chestnut, who's like, I think, Boys in the Hood, Easy, Best Man. And he's like really good in this movie. Like as a PG NBA star.
Yeah. Which is not easy to do, bro.
Not easy to do.
And I want
these guys are at strip clubs and all this shit.
Exactly. Because I wanted to talk about that scene when he I thought it was such a stupid scene. Like the thing is, so listen, when you're watching a kid's movie, you have to put your mindset in the kids. Like you have to, right? Because that scene where he brings the girl back to the hotel, I'm like, what the fuck was your plan?
What was the plan there?
What was the plan? You could either tell the kid to leave and sit outside. Obviously you can't, because we found out the next day it was 1 a.m. You're not going to do that. Or get
another
room.
hotel room.
Exactly. So like that scene was so stupid, like the logic of it. But for a kid's movie, you have to have that scene. You have to.
And then you got Lipnicki, Stuart Little. We just call him Stuart Little.
Right? Exactly.
But who's also in Jerry Maguire, which is a much bigger movie. So, but Stuart Little got a sequel. Robert Forster, who plays the coach, who's also really good in this. Yes. And he's in Jackie Brown, if you haven't seen it. And you should check him out. He got nominated for an Oscar.
Ooh, look at him.
Movie. Eugene Levy, who's just like in mad movies. American Pie, Bringing Down the House. Which is it's not a Millennial classic, but underrated.
Sure.
And he's in Schitt's Creek too. And then this is the gem in the rough, right? No. The diamond in the rough.
Yes, that's the word. That's the phrase.
Of the casting, this is the guy where when you watch the trailer, you're like, oh shit, he was in this movie.
Right.
Jesse Plemons. Holy shit. I mean, the casting is, the kids are Lipnicki, Jesse Plemons, Brenda Song, who I think does Sweet Life and Zoe stuff, and but she's in The Social Network, which is where I last saw her. But and then Bow Wow, which, I mean, as far as kids go, that's bomb casting. But Jesse Plemons is the bully, Friday Night Lights, Breaking Bad, and he's in like so many movies.
Yeah. So when you said
Vice,
when you said they hit it out the park with child actors, right? With the casting for this, I haven't been as impressed with Where Are They Now situations with actors, like as much as I am with this movie. Yeah. And I know it's unfair because they were kids during this movie, but at the same time, perfection. You're right. This is a fantastic cast. Is anyone in this cast their peak? Because I don't think so, right? Like all of these people do better and bigger things.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone in this in the peak. I mean, unless it's the director that you said earlier, but everyone else goes on to do bigger and better things. And that's why this cast is fantastic. Whoever did the casting for this movie, hats off. Hats off to them. Just a little bit more about Jesse Plemons. I don't want to step on your toes here, but I'm going to just say it right now. He was my MVP.
Oh, MVP?
Yeah, he was my MVP.
Nah, he was, I mean, the bully thing, it's like too over the top with the bully thing, man. Too over the top. I mean, you can be a bully, but at a certain point in time, I mean, he's also a bully and a suck up, which makes no sense.
Did you say Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I said Michael Jordan. Give him back.
Which could be anybody. Why don't you just let me take a look at it?
No, man, they're his, man.
Yeah, how do you know they're not?
Because no one ever gives us nothing good. Just abandoned junk that no one wants.
He's not a... Wait, how so?
Because he does whatever the other... Like, you would think he would take the shoes for himself, but he's perfectly happy doing all this stuff for the obviously piece of shit orphan,
Whatever.
head of the orphan. Which, by the
Yes.
way, can we get a nice head of the orphan? I mean, all these guys are so cartoony. This dude I literally wrote this down. He looks like Anton Ego from Ratatouille. Can we get a guy who runs an orphanage that just looks and is respectable, looks good,
Right?
Jesus, I wouldn't. If I had to pick up a kid from this orphanage, that dude was like, all he has to do is do this, and I'm out.
Well, Barry, so that scene with the parents, you see how he's creepily standing in the background? It's like they make it so ominous, but it's a PG movie. You have to make these bad guys characters. They have to be like over the top bad so everyone knows, oh, he is the bad guy. But no, you're right. We need an orphanage, like heads, whatever, to not be as cartoonish as these fucking actors are. It's insane. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You couldn't keep it. You could not be the head of any orphanage if you having kids sell candy bars at midnight.
That was so wild. I mean, the Foster family in Shazam was mad nice. They were like mad nice people. But
I'm gonna have to rewatch that because I don't know what you do. I forgot about the orphanage situation.
It wasn't really an orphanage. It was like a foster home.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Shazam! You just said Shazam. You know what I'm thinking of? What was that
Shaq movie?
Yeah, what's the movie with Shaq?
Shazam.
Shazam! I was thinking of Kazam. Of course, I remember Shazam. I was thinking of Shaq because of the basketball. Yeah, no. Yes, the Foster family was fantastic. Oh, you're right. Yeah, those were great parents. Yeah. See, that's a good pair of
nice people.
Foster orphanage situation. I like that. I do.
All right, so and then I just have a couple of things that I just jotted down while I was watching it. First off,
yes,
the clip-on tie is such a clutch detail for any kids wearing suits out there. Because I mean, he just rips out the clip-on tie when he's disgusted, and I'm like, wow, props to that.
That was clean. I noticed it, but I never wrote it down. Good for you, Burry.
The NBA players in this, the Admiral, Iverson, Kidd, Dirk, Nash, Weber, Peyton, Vince Carter. I mean, great. They actually got a ton of people. They like managed to get NBA teams that they're playing against, but I guess no NBA team wanted to be the main team, so they made one up, the LA Knights, which I figured had to be the Clippers. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
And the 2002 NBA standings, right? The Clippers finished 9th, just outside of the playoffs. So close, because they just made it into the playoffs, right? It actually works out because in the movie, the coach is pissed because the only game they lose against the Bulls, and he's pissed because he's like, we lost to the Bulls. This sucks. Now we got to go and play the Raptors to make the playoffs. And the Bulls were the worst team in the Eastern Conference.
This is 2002?
2002.
Holy shit.
And the Raptors made the playoffs that year. So everything checks out with this movie.
The LA Knights are the LA Clippers.
Pretty much.
Guaranteed.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. I didn't do the research, but I was like, obviously this is not the fucking LA.
Because when he was like, yo, we got to like do like weird halftime things to sell stands, I was like, in LA, what are you talking about?
Right? No, agreed. So that's fantastic. But I was thinking the same thing. This had to be the Clippers. This can't be the Lakers. It would have made sense for it to be the Lakers, right? It would have made sense.
So, and then a couple of things. The CGI in this movie is dog shit. I'll just say that right now. All the dunking in this movie. The first dunk and then the slam dunk. Oh, it's painful to watch.
That's not CGI.
It's painful. It's CGI. They actually showed it in the outtakes. There's a huge blue screen.
Yes.
It's just bad. I mean, the way that like someone, because he doesn't actually move like someone would dunk moves. It's not like vertical. It's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. They're on strings, and he's like, that's what it looks like.
Running in the air.
That's what it looks like. But also that's because he's so small in this movie. Which brings me to point number 2, which is that he should be at least 3 years older. Like if they made him 15, 16, so at least this dude on defense would take nuts to the face, right? Because every team would just be like, we're just going to target you and we're going to score on you every game.
Yes.
So if he was like 3 years older, they would still do that. But I mean, Isaiah Thomas can still play basketball.
The height thing is huge for me. That's the reason I brought it up in the beginning, because like all you have to do is just stand on top of the kid. The kid is so short. It doesn't make any sense.
It literally makes zero sense.
Zero sense, right? Him jumping and dunking on people. Maybe you could dunk if the shoes allow you to do that. Wait, before we continue, age the best, age the worst. What is your thought process on these, like the electrocuting scene?
I really like it. I'm a big fan of like magic. Something happened that's magic in a movie, because it's like, it's kind of the thing about movies is obviously this shit would never happen in real life.
Yes,
you can kind of do whatever you want, and I like the magic shoes, the turning you into MJ. The funniest YouTube comment I watched while watching the trailer was that the MJ wasn't Michael Jordan, it was Martell Jordan. And that's why he was only good for one season, which is so funny. That's the best comment, but it could be Magic Johnson, it could be whatever.
Yes.
But no, I really like the magic scene. It's pretty good.
I like the magic scene. What I thought aged the worst is just the slow motion of the shoes getting tossed up when he's originally tossing him up. They do the very same thing in Holds, which I think we should talk about. But I think it's just a little overdone with the editing in that situation. Do you have an age the best, age the worst?
Age the best. I mean, this movie was diverse before diverse was a thing.
Yes.
I mean, all these orphans.
Wait, would you consider this a black movie?
I mean, kind of, but it was big enough. Wait, how much money did you say it made? $50 million in the US. It opened number 4. So not really.
It was decent. But yeah, no, I don't consider this a black movie. This was way too wide range for it to be a black movie. The remake. Do you have any recasting options, choices? Did you think about?
The only one I could think of, which going with a little bit older theme, was Jaden Smith.
Yes, I think I said the same thing. I said the same exact thing.
And he could do the same thing. He could rap a little bit, do a little dance with him, right? Then play a little basketball.
But
this movie shouldn't be remade.
It should not be remade. He's too old now, and if it does get remade, it needs to be LeBron James, or it could be like a scrawny Steph Curry remake, right? But I
could see Steph Curry. Now that's a good pick, because you can always have someone that can shoot and not play good defense. And
Steph Curry plays decent defense. Stop hating. You stop hating. Oh, wait. But by the way, did you notice that there was only one defensive scene where he stole the ball? Because this kid can't play defense.
Yeah, no, can't play defense.
He can't play. He just can't. It wouldn't make any sense to play defense.
And then I have one more thing, because we mentioned The Last Dance.
Yes.
And this is kind of like the first dance of The Last Dance. There's actually one scene where they actually explain the triangle offense with, they go, isolate, isosceles, and trigonometry. And I mean, it all works so well together. They explain the triangle offense and moving around. And I was like, this is the first dance. This is, if you wanted more Michael Jordan, watch this movie. If you don't have enough.
I'm going to disagree with Mamburi wholeheartedly, okay? Congratulations on explaining the triangle offense, right? But it was straight bullshit. Mamburi, can I ask you a question about that scene?
Yeah.
A kid comes over to your house. Do you paint your fucking walls orange?
Rich as shit, and I don't care. By the way, you know who actually owned that house? Know what NBA player actually owned that house before they filmed it?
It was a dope house, but who?
Tracy McGrady.
Oh, shit. I kind of respect that. Tracy McGrady's magic.
Yeah, I just looked that up. I just looked up the movies that came out, but why? Because I was like, why did it open number 4?
Yeah.
So it was literally The Bourne Identity, Minority Report, and Men in Black 2. All way better movies and all like way more classic. Like The Bourne Identity is an insane classic.
It's an insane classic.
Minority Report's a great movie, and Men in Black 2 is mad fun. So I can see why. I mean, it deserved 4th place on that one.
It deserved 4th place, but it's still a millennial fucking classic.
It's still a classic. That's how we roll.
Yes.
You can get a D and still roll in. So I have one last question. Then I'm all set.
Word, hit me, because I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So if someone had a gun to your head and you had to give this movie any Oscar.
Oh, geez.
So best picture, best director, best actor, actress, supporting, screenplay, and not animated. Any of those. Original score, original song, makeup, costume, film editing, visual effects, cinematography. Any of those. What would you give it?
That's a really good question. So,
which one would you give it and feel the least bad about, like bumping someone else?
So I would have to know who won.
Ask me. Go right ahead.
I don't know.
What category were you thinking?
A score or soundtrack? Like, what's that category?
All right. So best original song or best original? You don't want the score. All right. Best original song.
Song.
If I Didn't Have You by Randy Newman from Monsters, Inc., which is pretty good.
Shit, that's a good one.
And then Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, May It Be, There You'll Be, Pearl Harbor, Until, but from Kate and Leopold, and then Vanilla Sky. I'm perfectly happy kicking one of these people out to put basketball.
Right? So I would definitely have original song. I would definitely have, bro, We Playing Basketball is a banger.
Yeah, it's better than Until. I don't even know what that, I've never even heard of that movie.
Right?
Kate and Leopold, have you heard of that?
I have never heard of it, but it was also in 2002.
So
bro, we were like 5 years old.
So I was gonna also do Bow Wow for Best Actor, but then I was like, I looked at the category, and that would literally be category fraud.
Wait, go ahead. Go
the winner was Denzel for Training Day.
Congrats.
Then Russell Crowe, Beautiful Mind, Sean Penn, I Am Sam, Will Smith, Ali, Tom Wilkinson in the bedroom. And I was like,
stop it.
I was like, nah, Bow Wow can't get in there. But then I was like, Morris Chestnut for Best Supporting.
Ooh.
And it's Jim Broadbent for Iris, Ethan Hawke, Training Day, Ben Kingsley, Sexy Beast, Ian McKellen, Lord of the Rings, John Voight, Ali. And I'm like, you can kick Ian McKellen out there.
Wait, for what movie? What did he do, Ian McKellen?
Lord of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh.
Actually, no, keep him.
No, bro, you can't. You can't kick anyone out of that list. 0 people. Get the fuck out of here with that supporting actress. Morris Chestnut. Mulberry, did you see that corny ass shit that he was doing in this movie?
Dude, his acting in the pharmacy was God. I don't know if he was actually on those pills or some shit.
Bro.
Nah, but I like more Chestnut in this.
He does a good job for a PG.
What about Best Picture? You think that?
No. Oh, give me the list first. Give me the list.
Beautiful Mind, Gosford Park, In the Bedroom, Lord of the Rings, Moulin Rouge. Gosford Park is overrated.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what Gods of Park is, so I'm going to guess that.
It's a murder mystery movie, pretty much.
So I'm going to say that one is the one that should get out. But remember, Mulberry, we were children at the time of this releasing, right? Do you know, has a child...
So Best Original Song is it? That's the answer.
Best original song is the answer, but do you know if a child actor has ever won the Oscar for Best Actor?
Yeah, I think the youngest is 9. And then...
like Shirley Temple or some shit?
Yeah, some shit like that.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Listen. And like Mulberry said, this is the prequel to The Last Dance, all right? If you didn't get enough Michael Jordan, this is the movie to watch. Please go back and watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, listening to this, whatever you're doing, like, comment, subscribe, and just let us know how you felt about this movie in the comment section below. Catch you on the flip. Deuces.